students, welcome to my channel. Here we have talked about in my previous video about the directive principles of state policy, and in this directive principles of state policy we have talked about the how this directive principles or the this particular has got like aims and objectives through which the government how they are taking the initiative. So these are the actually part of the discussion in yesterday's what called video. So today I will talk about the this particular classification of the directive principles. Now before that we have to understand that these particular aims and objectives of this directive principles of state policy, how actually making the things to happen. So here yesterday we have read about the first part of this aims and objectives. Here given the promoting social, economic and political justice. So I have already explained you. Then raising the standard of living of the people by minimizing inequalities, income, status, opportunities and facilities. And then promoting international peace and security. These are the few aims and objectives what is actually placed by the drafting committee. So let's see, now we will come to know about the classification of the directive principles of state policy. Now we must understand the Constitution of India actually does not prescribe any classification to the directive principles. Okay, so however, on the basis of their content, they are actually classified into economic principles and Gandhian principles along with other principles aimed at the protection of the environment, preservation of historical monuments and a maintenance of cordial relations with other nations. So this is we have to see. So let us know about the economic principles, what exactly this directive principles actually indicating. So first of all, aim at the establishing economic and social justice. They guide the government to like this, provide adequate means of livelihood to all the citizens along with assistance in cases of unemployment, old age, sickness and other cases of the undeserved want. Now you can see that provide adequate means of livelihood to all the citizens along with assistance in case of unemployment. Okay, then again old age, then a sickness and other cases of undeserved want. When you find they need to be fulfilled. Second point we have to understand what the have to guide. Ensure equal pay for equal work for both men and women. So today, whenever there is a appointment, either it is a private or in the government, you need to have their proper qualification, their efficiency, their skills, and then you can check and then you can keep the salary. Especially you see whatever the work is done. A person who is working equal time, equally everybody is getting a relief from there, and yet you see the equal payment is not done. So therefore here the directive principles are indicating about that they ensure equal pay for equal work. So whatever work we are doing, equal payment should be there. And also here they are not mentioning about the male and female, here are mentioning both. So therefore we have to really should know what exactly the constitution is all about. So both men and women should be paid equally for the equal work job. Then another important thing is mentioned here about the economic principles, that is maintain just and human conditions of work including maternity relief. So when you see your work is going on and suppose you are making pressurized on the workers, and then sometimes a pregnant lady suppose needed relief, and you at the time also you will comment some sort of things which are actually not required, looking at the condition of the women, then you are actually creating the crime in fact. So you have to see that maintain just the human conditions. So human conditions, how your discipline, how you are talking, that actually also here indicating about the directive principles. Okay, then prevent the concentration of wealth and exploitation of workers. Prevent the concentration of wealth. Now if anyone is going above more than that, if they are earning maybe the earning is not done simply very normally, earning is done very sometimes corrupted way. So that's why the government has to be take care on that to prevent such kind of people to keep balance. Otherwise, one group of people will become very his. For example, today's world is that way it is functioning. One group of people is a very rich, the other part is worse. So why this is happening? In spite of having the constitution, is allowing this kind of things to happen. Constitution is not allowing to happen that one group of people should become very rich. So this is the how actually the government should focus. So here, then exploitation of the workers. Now exploitation of the workers, we have to understand even in the private schools also, private institutions. When you are given the job, either it is a government or private. Okay, so in the private institutions, what we have seen that the timing is expanded more and more, and yet the job is done more, but you won't pay the money. That is we have seen. So it is the experience from our part that we are speaking. Because most of the private sections, private sectors are always they are actually exploiting the workers. For example, we go suppose 9 o'clock or 8:30. Then from the 8:30 you count the timing, and then when the school timing or the institution which is functioning under the private, suppose that is 2:30 or 3:30 or 3, exactly what is the timing in fact. And you can see there they will keep 1 hour extra, 1.5 hour extra, but about the payment they will not speak. So therefore we need to raise up the voice. There is no other choice, whatever the this private institutions, because for the extra work there is always given the what called the payment. Today like in the different institutions, what we have seen, suppose they are working for this many hours and their payment is high. In the private sector's payments will be high. It is not like a this 200 300 this payment wages per day. It is you have seen, for example, right now many of the like masons, mestri and all, they are working right now. They are earning in a day 500. In a day 500 they are charging. So you can count 500 into suppose 25. What is the calculation? Suppose in a month 25 days you are getting. So you count 25 days, calculate with the 500. What can be the like our result? So that's why exploitation is extremely done in the private sectors. Okay. It means a person earning in a month like a 4,000, 5,000 in a private sections. For them, it's a great loss. They are wasting their money. They are wasting their age. So it's very painful, in fact, very painful. So you can see there how this exploitation is taking place. Therefore, here you can see that another things are happening, especially women and children against works inappropriate for their age and strength. Also, we can be very much like careful, and then secure participation of workers in the management of industries. So a person who is working in the industry or in the institutions, they need to be given care if they are facing such kind of like accidents in the institutions. They should be given the some sort of remuneration. Those things are sometimes missing. Now you miss what exploitation, my God. So that is we have to think of here. Then ensure decent standard of living for all. Decent standard. We need to be respect. Today, for example, in the private sections, especially sometimes we are speaking about the schools and all, we have seen that there are teachers, for example, earning 4,000 or 5,000 per month, and these teachers are actually treated as like a workers. Sometimes the higher authority have got no sometimes respecting such kind of teachers. So here it is given the directive principle state policy. Kindly read all of per this authorities and all, and you see there, ensure decent standard of living for all. So respect them. Don't use them as like workers, because they are not workers. They are teachers. Even they are earning less amount of money, also they are teachers. So respect. This is very important. So these are the few things that is actually mentioned in the constitution. So if not aware about the constitution, kindly all of us should read the constitution and then make yourself acquainted with this constitution, especially because sometimes people are speaking very rude, very as they are the king of the kings. So anyway, next we have got here the Gandhian principles. What the Gandhian principles in fact is speaking about this systems to follow up. Here Gandhian principles is speaking about, especially like our Mahatma Gandhi, he launched one of the what call schemes, and he said that establishment of village panchayats as a local self-governing bodies. That is he asked for. Second one is a promotion of cottage industries in the rural areas. That is actually looking at the movement. At the time, many people became poor and not able to afford anything, and so self sufficiency was actually lacking at the time because of a lot of tax was actually imposed on the peasants and farmers. So that is why he actually asked everyone to open their own way of opening the cottage industries. Then a provision of free and a compulsory education for all children up to 14 years of age. Free education. Free education is where it is given in the government sectors. So protection of education and educational and economic interests of the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, other backward classes and weaker sections such as women and children in the society. This is also mentioned here. Second one is a protection of the scheduled caste is given, scheduled tribes and other backward classes from social injustice and other forms of exploitation. So here also mentioned exploitation. Increase the level of nutrition and improve public health. Here also it is mentioned. Then organizations of agriculture and animal husbandry on modern and scientific lines. Here also the farmers should be given such kind of opportunities. Other principles are like a provision of equal justice and a free legal aid to make justice accessible to all citizens. So sometimes people are unable to pay the fee for the lawyer and all. So that time the government should make available for such people who can afford through the government this lawyer. Okay, so that is also mentioned. And then a protection and a improvement of the environment by safeguarding wildlife and vegetation of the country. Third one, you can see the protection and a preservation of historical monuments from destruction. This is very important. In order to dominate a group of people when they come into political power, so they try to demolish the every bit of things like this Babri Masjid and so many things have happened in the country in India. So it is why it is happening, because they want to destroy the others this historical monuments, and then they want to establish their one. And when we see that their one is they didn't have the history in their this one. They have all the fake and not proper history. Today, whatever we can see, there is a not proper history is found. It is the copying and a kind of like establishing the others one and claiming your. That is the thing happening today. So promotion of international peace by maintaining cordial relations with other nations, promoting of respect for international treaties and law, and fostering the settlements of disputes through negotiations. So these are the few things the other principles of the directive principles of state policy. We have another one, that how they say implementation is taking place, this directive principles. So first of all, right to education. Right to education, it provides free and compulsory education to all the children between age of 6 and 14 years. Then 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendments Act is established. The acts have provided for the setting up a local self-governing bodies in rural and urban areas of our country respectively. And they have also provided for the reservation of seats for women in these bodies. Then Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, which is known as the Manrega. So here the acknowledgement or the acknowledges this act actually acknowledges the right to work and thereby guarantees at least 100 days of paid employment to semi and unskilled laborers. Okay. So another is the Scheduled Caste and Tribes Prevention of Atrocities Act. That is also there. So it strives to prevent exploitation of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Many schemes are there, many things are, but the thing is that it is not implemented. Minimum Wages Act. Now this is very important. The act ensures for payment to the workers, fair payments, but here we don't see the fair payment. Equal Remuneration Act. It prevents gender-based, today for example, gender-based male and female discrimination in employment and provides for equal pay for equal work. This is very important and should raise up these particular things. It is there in the Equal Remuneration Act. So this is a little bit we have to understand. So last one we have to discuss about directive principles and fundamental rights. Here see what are the actually the allows in the fundamental rights and what is not allowed. See, the directive principles direct the government to do certain things, whereas the fundamental rights direct the government to restrain from doing certain things. Third one, the directive principles are aimed at the welfare of the society at large, whereas the fundamental rights focus on the entitlements of the citizens as individuals. Third point we have to remember, the directive principles are not enforceable by law, the fundamental rights are enforceable by law. So this too has got some sort of like a controversy, and yet it is important. So before we go with so many things to speak about the rules and regulations, let us know about the rules and regulation from the Constitution. What the rules and regulation is given for us. Rules and regulations given by the government in different sectors. Private institutions are giving the rules and regulations. That is actually, you know, the just to make people fool. But we need to see, especially from the Constitution, what is the rules actually for us, what the guidelines actually for us. So these guidelines we need to raise up, and we need to tell people, and everyone should read the Constitution. If everyone will read the Constitution, you will come to know about your rights, for what purpose you are in this country. If you don't know Constitution, then you are almost considered as an animal. That's why the exploitation takes place. Today, maximum people are exploited, government or private. You can see that because these people are lacking the knowledge. And whenever you see that there is exploitation is taking place, misuse is taking place, you need to raise up, you must quote the Constitution. Because Constitution, if one who knows, he can claim the right. So therefore, during the big festivals, like we need to have the debate on the Constitution, we need to have the discussion on the Constitution. Even 15 August, even the 26th January, many other occasions are there where we need to discuss, we need to spread the pamphlets, we need to give more and more information on the Constitution. Today, because of the lack of knowledge of this Constitution, you see the governments even are using the other ways of their functioning. So that's why we should not be like away from the Constitution. We should be read about it, and we should also claim according to the Constitution. So this is I would like to suggest to all of you. So today's chapter, this is the chapter in fact completing. So in my next class I will take the chapter 5 for your half yearly portion. Okay, so thank you.